Hello and welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by your usual host, Josh Hartley, your occasional usual host.
Moderately occasional?
Moderately occasional. I don't know. You're on like once a month now.
Yeah,
you'll probably a lot more in the future, or the immediate future. Tom Mannering's here.
Hello.
Hello, and we are joined on the line with David Wright from Tabletop. Is your title still Convention Overlord?
I knew you were going to say that. Well, if that's what people still call me, then I suppose that's my title.
Yeah, own it. Live up to it.
I embrace it. I'm not that in any formal communication, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, we all know. So we've got plenty to talk about Tabletop Scotland wise. Of course, we were talking before we started recording. We were going to say how many days it was away now, and then we never bothered actually working it out.
Well, don't worry. You refresh the front page of the website, and it tells you exactly how many days, hours, or minutes it is until the doors open. So 36 days, 13 hours, and 38 minutes.
As of this recording.
As of this recording, indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, 24th and 25th August.
So we've got plenty to talk about on that front. But we normally like to start these episodes with a bit of news in the tabletop world. But, well, this is the first time you've been on the show, Tom, since
UK Games Expo.
Since UK Games Expo, but notably since my character in the Pathfinder campaign has been going through a rough time, and I feel a little. Well, I'm gonna rattle off to the listeners and to Dave what's been going on, and I'll let people be the judge.
Did you just bring me on here to basically stitch me up for this?
No. Why would I do that?
Okay.
Right. Well. Okay. Well. First of all, right. So we're for those who haven't been up to speed on my Pathfinder campaign, Tom's the GM. I am playing a character, Orlan Goodseller. He's a halfling ranger. Lovely guy.
Yes.
Why would you do anything horrible to that character?
I mean, really,
I have no idea.
You're really building this up, Josh. I'm looking forward to what bad things happen.
So, we are trying to rescue some wizards in a wizards academy, basically, because hit the fan. Drowser everywhere. So first things first, it's encased in this big ice wall, so we've got to get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first one up. The druid in the party transforms into a giant falcon, flies me up, leaves me there alone. Do you know what else is up there with me? An invisible stalker?
Ooh.
Is that the name of the monster?
That is the name of the monster.
Yeah, kills me. Just murders me.
Brutalized you.
Yeah,
Real
I
bad.
broke my neck.
Yeah.
But it's all right. I got better. The rest of the party take it down when they get up there, eventually. We get to a safe spot. I'm reincarnated, right? But something went wrong. Reincarnation in Pathfinder, at least. You're supposed to come back as something else. But no, I'm still Orlan.
Still a halfling.
Still a halfling. That's a bit weird.
As far as you know.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, God, you made me so nervous. Why?
That's the GM's job, though, right?
Yeah. Building suspense, I believe it's called.
Yep.
So, amongst other things, since this event, I can now see in the dark for some reason.
Yeah.
Choosing not to read anything into that.
It's all those carrots in your diet.
Yeah, something like that. And I don't like warm environments.
No,
quite like cold environments.
Yeah.
Thunder and electricity.
They're quite nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So next traumatic event, we are going through this academy. We find what we presumed to be a wizard student trapped somewhere.
Oh,
so
yes.
We free said wizard. Turns out not a wizard at all. It's a succubus, and she plants a kiss on me, which is good. Bad times were had by all. Also,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, she was also manifested as a man, so it was an education for Orlan.
all of them learnt something at college.
Yeah. Went through an experimental phase.
Yeah. While he was at the Wizard Academy.
Oh, dear.
So that f***ed him up a bit.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, we were fighting some insectoid-type
They're
demons.
called Zill.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's why you're the GM.
Yeah.
And they managed to knock me unconscious and started dragging me away. To which you turned to me with a big smile on your face and just decide to tell me, you guys didn't know this. They were going to plant eggs in you.
They were, yes.
Yeah.
Incubate you.
So
real good.
I feel personally attacked. What the hell?
I mean, it's the way the dice went, man. It's nothing personal. I mean, well, there's maybe a bit of it's personal, but...
Was your character the only one that was assaulted in this way?
Yes.
Yeah.
In every single one of those instances. It was largely just all.
Yeah, it was. I guess I was just wrong place at the wrong time.
To be fair,
to who exactly? To you, Tom, or to?
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
Tom,
okay, that's right.
Ours was sort of dominated by the succubus as well to attack the party.
Yeah.
So he did turn against.
Oh, so yeah, well. So we got blasted by a fireball as well.
From your own wizard.
I forgot that. Forgot that little section.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it was a rough day.
It was bad, but do you know what was really liberating was I got to, in character, just have a tantrum right at the end of the session. I just full on threw my toys out of the pram.
Yeah, it was very much the child stomping their feet in the out the supermarket, basically, and then just sitting down.
I actually said, and my character just sits down on the floor and doesn't move.
Yep.
So that was quite liberating.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But no, otherwise I think the campaign's going well. We have the weekend after Tabletop Scotland, we've got a big crossover event.
We do, yeah. So my two Pathfinder campaigns are crossing over into one for a weekend, which means that the 2 weeks Tabletop Scotland and the week after are very busy for me.
Yeah, busy for me as well. Good busy, though.
So
good busy.
That, Tom, you having a huge group of players, or is it?
Yeah, so we did it last year, and how I basically do it is there's 9 players in total between the two groups, and I do various sections where all 9 of them are there, and then I split them into 2 groups, but I mix them up from their standard parties, so they get to interact with new characters or new compositions of classes and things. So it takes a bit of management to deal with 9 players, but they're fairly well behaved for the most part.
Most part,
yeah.
Right, Tom, cards on the table. Who's your favourite group?
I'm not answering that online.
Aww.
I'll tell you afterwards. No, I think
so. That means you have one, Tom. That's what you've just revealed to me, right?
I think I would say
parents never have a favourite child.
Yeah. I think both groups have their strengths and their weaknesses. There you go.
That's very diplomatic.
Yeah,
very diplomatic. If I was in your shoes, I'd have told me the other group just to piss me off. But there we go.
But even that's even after trying to murder your character, or even actually murdering your character, and doing God knows what to him.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the rest of this dungeon. That's the first floor of 3.
Awesome.
So. Watch this space, folks. I will not be quiet about it.
Things are only going to get better.
Yeah.
For whom?
Anyway, exactly.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I bet you
That's
are.
all that matters, Tom. As long as the GM's having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, fun is not always equitable.
Yeah, that won't be in my DM seminar.
No, it won't be, mate. No.
Was that the smoothest segue
that was a pretty good segue, I thought.
Yeah, so speaking of GMing and everything, obviously Tabletop Scotland, as we said, is the week before our crossover event. Tons of stuff happening at the convention. Obviously, Dave, we're going to have a chat about some new announcements. So, shall we maybe get the not so great news out of the way first?
Yeah, as obviously you two know, and through conversations with yourselves and Ben, we've kind of come to the realization that game night can't happen for a variety of reasons, logistically and otherwise. It's just not going to be possible for, as a team, collectively, for us to be able to put it on, which is obviously a disappointment for us as much as it is for anybody else. But the pub quiz will still be going ahead. What we're going to do with that is we're going to bring the pub quiz forward by 1 hour, so that it's not too late. Or in fact, it can go longer potentially. Then but we can obviously keep an eye on that as we go. But it's the right decision ultimately what we're doing here.
And don't get me wrong. We at Unlucky Frog, we're gutted to not be doing it. However, we would be stretching ourselves. I think we would be stretching ourselves too thin, and I would rather. I would rather. Do the best that we can rather than put on something and for it to not live up to our expectations.
And ultimately, the right thing is for us to make that decision now, right? Rather than think we can do it, get even closer to it, and then realize, actually, no, we can't. We're more than a month away, even if that feels alien to me at this point in time. We're more than a month away, and it's fine. It's the right decision, and we'll move on from that. But as I say, the pub quiz will move forward by an hour. I'll kind of make changes to the website over the weekend, and we'll kind of move on from there.
Yeah, exactly.
And right, although that isn't happening, I am still doing the GM seminar.
So
everyone can come and learn about Josh suffering and how to do that in their own games.
in a creative and what's the word? Collaborative manner with your players.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all.
And I mean, not even about making your own players suffer. Specifically, Josh through your own games.
I hear he's somehow managed to put a slide together of all my phobias.
And just to kind of grow your ego a little bit here, Tom, it is the most signed up for seminar on the schedule.
Dave, I would be lying to you if I haven't A, noticed that and B, bragged about it.
And C, being terrified by that.
A little bit.
No, you're gonna kill it.
No, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that as well. You it's gonna sound weird. You were my first GM.
It doesn't sound that weird.
Always nice to be that to someone.
Yeah, but I've had I've been involved in other games as well.
Wait! Are you telling me you've had other GMs?
Well, I didn't think we were exclusive.
This has been special to me, Josh.
You've had other groups,
but you knew that going in.
How weird can we make this? But honestly though, you are the best that I've seen. So we were saying earlier in the evening, I personally have no interest in being a GM. That seems like far too much work. However, for those listening who have maybe dabbled a bit in D&D or Pathfinder or whatever, and you want to be in the GM spot, but you're not quite sure where to start, I think this is going to be a great seminar for you to attend.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a nice sort of ease in for people, be they brand new or they've got a toe in the water, but they want to get a bit more experience, a bit more of an insight.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for longer than I like to admit, so
that's fair.
And I think I know you've said there about new GMs or those who are looking to dip their toe in the water, as it were. But I even think I've been running games for far too long. But every time I buy a rule book, particularly a new edition of D&D, and read the Dungeon Master's Guide or something like that, I always learn something new. So it's not the sort of craft, if you can call it that you perfect. You're always learning something.
Definitely, yeah. I still, I'm doing this seminar, but I still look to other GMs for advice and guidance. You never stop learning with it, and I think the second you think you know it all, that's when you step out of place almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there's plenty of other seminars as well happening over the entire weekend. We have Richard from We're Not Wizards is hosting the Kickstarter seminar.
So officially, it's called Crowdfunding 101. You know, we don't have an official crowdfunding partner.
Yeah, of course. But Kickstarter, if you are listening, we could do for 2020. There we go. But yes, so Richard is hosting a seminar with other game designers who have successfully launched projects on crowdfunding platforms. We also have an artist seminar right before the unveiling of Eye of the Beholder. Yep.
As far as I'm aware, a UK premiere. No other convention in the UK has shown it, and unless one of them is going to do it in the next 6 weeks, in fact, not even 6 weeks, 5 weeks.
Panic starts to set in.
I'm not there yet. But yeah, the Tabletop Art Seminar's got Ralph Horsley, who's in the film, because he's a D&D artist, and but we've also got Andy Hepworth, who's the creative director at Calliope Games, who makes Suro and various other things, who still does art. In fact, he did the box art for Suro Phoenix Rising. And we have John Hodgson from, currently of Handiwork Games, but historically from Cubicle 7 and various other things. And he's done a lot of D&D work as well in the past.
And they're all, fantastic in their field. We've had Ralph on the show a while back now, and he was great to chat to.
Really nice
guy. He's absolutely
they're good people as well, and I think that's all. Well,
it helps.
It helps. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably going to be slipping away for that one.
I kind of I'm
on my lunch, Josh.
Bye. So we have that. We have Eric from Juniper Games is hosting a seminar on gaming with children as well.
Yeah, so Eric and Jennifer, who will have her son Oscar.
Beg your pardon, Jennifer as well.
She would inflict pain on me if I didn't say that. No, I won't go there. They're doing a talk about games with kids and their experiences, because the club they run is a very family-orientated club, and they play games with their kids. So it'll be quite an interesting thing to see, I think. And given we have quite a strong family-orientated feel to the con, I think that's a good addition.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good fit for the convention as well. And of course, Haber are going to be back as well with the Family Zone. They were great last year as well with their showing of games. So that's going to be fantastic to see as well. Have we got any other exhibitors that we can announce or recently announced?
So I think the two most recent, as we were getting ready to close the door. In fact, I think we'd already closed the door. Well, almost closed the door. We've had two new exhibitors announced recently. One of whom is a local stand-up, as it were. They're just in the middle of developing their first game called Battleboard Games. They're in Dundee. And their game is Arcane Blaster Casters, which I always have to think about when I'm saying it. But they're coming along and they're going to be demoing their game. I think they're looking to move to Kickstarter not long after the con. And then we have this random game, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, called Fog of Love. I
don't know if I'm familiar with that one. Fog of Love
sounds pretty neat.
So I think
it's a bit of a big deal.
I think they've done quite well. I do believe, indeed. I think Mr. Mark Cook of the Aircon parish is involved with them somehow, and he has gone on record on a podcast saying they've sold significantly more copies than Wingspan.
Controversial.
But I'm sure it's true, because Mark wouldn't lie about these things.
No, that's true. So of course they'll be making an appearance. Geeknson are back as well.
Our sponsors this year we've got Geeknson, and I'll come back to something for them shortly. We've got DMB Games, who last year came with all the dungeon tiles and stuff like that. They're going gangbusters for this year. They've taken a really big space, and they're also going to be providing terrain for our kids' RPG area, which is going to be right in front of their stand. So those tables will have dungeon tiles and stuff like that on it from DMB's range. We've got Board Game Book, so Owen Duffy, who you guys obviously know, you've had him on the show. So they launched, well, I think they had the first print copies in their hands literally before UK Games Expo. And they're going to be along, and they're going to be offering a special deal, which, apologies, Owen, I've forgotten what that is. But they will be offering a special deal to attendees at Tabletop Scotland.
What I'll do, Dave, in that place, I will edit over me saying what the deal
assuming
is,
I remember
and we'll
yes.
somehow make it sort of we'll smooth it out in post.
Okay.
We'll smooth it out in post.
We're really pleased to have Owen and obviously the Board Game Book there, because I know Owen couldn't make it last year for due to other commitments, but I'm really pleased with that. And we have Handiwork Games, we've already mentioned, with John Hodgson, and they primarily, I think up until recently, primarily known for their card games that have been designed with John's son, but they're heavily working on a creature book for the Scarred Lands, historically 3rd edition D&D, for Onyx Path, but they're working on a 5th edition version of that, and some of the art for that looks amazing, but they're doing the full book, they're not just doing the art. And they've got a Beowulf 1 GM, 1 player RPG coming, and I think they'll be showing off stuff for that. And they've also got their Greek RPG, which I can't pronounce. Helicanus. No, I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to bother. And then alongside that, alongside that, we've got Daniel Taylor woodworking, who, for those who were there last year, may remember his wooden sword. And he'll have a wooden sword again this year. And we'll have Murphy's Vault, who are a retailer in Edinburgh, run by Connor Murphy. They're there as well as one of our sponsors. We have many, many more exhibitors. I think we're about 36, which is very exciting. But just coming back to Geeknson, so one of the things for Geeknson this year is that Geeknson obviously have their dentist table and the various other ones that have their kind of high-end ones, as it were. They also have another range called Moby Geek, which is aimed at, well, still a 3, potentially 4-digit price point, but not the price point of their other tables. And they're offering, and in the sense that they will be giving away on the Sunday as part of a raffle that they're going to be running, one of their Moby Geek tables. We don't yet know which one, but I know that Duncan's speaking to John from Geeknson to understand what that is. But that's fantastic that someone at the convention will win one of the Moby Geek tables, which was great. It was great fun.
Yeah, and like all of their tables that they produce are just of fantastic quality as well. And I can only dream of having one. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
You grow up.
Come on, man. Cheap shot.
If I can, one of the seminars that we didn't touch on, but we've got quite a few guests who are going to be on it. So I thought I'm going to go back to that. And Tom will know this because he's comparing it. The world building seminar, which has...
Oh, of course,
unless you're not comparing it anymore, obviously. But according to...
No.
So we have 4 RPG designer developers, 1 board game designer, who are going to be talking about that process of world building. So we've got 2 from Onyx Path, which is Matthew Dawkins and Clara Helborl. And we have 2 from Modiphius, which is Ben Gray-Beaton and Bill Heron. So they're the RPGs, and if you don't know those names, then you'll know them from the role-playing games, which would be Vampire, Changeling, Conan, and Mutant Chronicles, and other stuff that with a few guys have put out, like John Carter and Achtung Cthulhu. And we've also got Kevin Young from Inspiring Games, who had a little Kickstarter called Legends Untold, which did rather well. And if I remember correctly, has sold through that Kickstarter and through other orders almost 9,000 copies of the game worldwide, which is very nice. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that one. It's probably maybe quite a packed seminar because we have obviously quite a strong panel, but I'm sure, Tom, you can handle that. If you can handle Josh, you can handle that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably harder work, to be fair.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, you're not sorry, Dave. That's what hurts.
No, I'm really looking forward to that. It's a great lineup.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about myself for once.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, you're not officially a part of the lineup, though, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you get to introduce it.
I do.
You get to MC it. Big it up.
Yeah.
I get to let them do the legend.
Yeah, well, that's what they're there for, right?
Exactly.
So, along with the seminars, we do have a number of different events, some tournaments, some. I don't know. There's one world record attempt that is going to be made as well.
Yeah, and I don't know why I agreed to do this, but I did, and there was no alcohol involved either. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so at last year's event, there was a photograph with myself, Kat from I Play Red, Rob, and Bez. I think on the Sunday, and I think I looked like a broken man at that point, but hey, I was smiling. And I think I had like 5 or 6 lanyards on. So Eric from Juniper Green came up with the idea to, why don't we try and break the world record for wearing the most lanyards? And I thought, there can't actually be a world record for that. Why would there be a world record for that? But
there'll be a world record.
Yeah, and there is apparently, and I've forgotten the gentleman's name. Apparently, a guy in the States did 300 on Jimmy Kimmel, who's a chat show host in the States 4 years ago, maybe. And given that we will have, safe to say, more than 300 people at the convention, and we will have more than 300 lanyards at the convention. We're hoping that we'll be able to exceed that world record.
Have you in preparation for this done some sort of Rocky style montage of exercising your neck?
We have met, right? We have met. Now the answer to that question is no. The answer to that question probably should be yes, though, but it's unfortunately
still time.
Follow-up question, will you? And can we record it?
Nobody needs to see that. Really, not even me. But no, it's one of these things where I said to Eric, okay, if we can monetize it for charity, I'll do it. And he was like, okay, we're doing it then. And I was like, oh, God. So we will be looking for donations before people put a lanyard, and people will get to put the lanyard over my neck. And this will be on the Sunday only of the convention, because I might be a bit distracted on the Saturday. So on the Sunday of the convention, pretty much from doors opening to, let's say, 4 o'clock ish, people will be able to walk up to me and put a lanyard over my neck for a small donation of, let's say, at least £1. And we will, so feel if you have lanyards at home and you want to bring them, they don't need to be the lanyards we will have for the convention. In fact, ideally not, because you'll need to keep that on until you leave. Then feel free to bring them as long as you're prepared to donate per lanyard. And then we will have an independent adjudicator who will not be someone from Guinness, because they don't need to come, which surprised me. But they don't. We just need to have some photographic evidence and an independent person that isn't me or Eric to do the count. So that may indeed be one of you and you two. Who knows? So
I like counting.
It'll keep him busy, Dave.
Why do you scoff at that?
I don't scoff.
I have I work in finance.
That is true.
I know.
That's what terrifies
So,
me.
I may work for a financial institution, but trust me, I don't work in finance.
So we've got that to look forward to as well as other events. We've got the Giant Walk the Plank, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
As well.
We do, and it's actually turned out to be. It's one of these things that I think it was actually our ticket launch night that you were at, Josh, that Kirsten said to me, we should totally do a Giant Walk the Plank, and I was like, nah. And then we said, actually, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And it's fully booked. And it's making me think maybe we should do it more than once, but we're going to sleep on that. And by sleep on that, I mean give it a couple of weeks before we make a judgment call on that, because we've got lots of other events and we want people to go to all of our events, obviously. So it's really just about making sure that if we do it again, that we have the people available to marshal it, as it were. So because Kirsten suggested that she's running it on the Saturday, so we'll see.
Lesson learned, by the way. If you suggest something, you'll end up doing it.
Yeah. No, and actually, Eric and Jennifer's penance for me doing the lanyards was they would do the seminar on games with kids.
Oh, that's fair. That's
fair. You know, I think that's how these things work, or it's how they work for me, at least.
Yes.
But no, what the plank thing will be really good. We're trying to make it quite a bit of a showcase. Media Games have been really supportive of it. I think it's only ever been done as a giant size, life size version once before at an event, and it was done by them when they launched the game. So it's something that they've provided price support for and stuff like that, which is great.
Oh, fantastic! Awesome. Yeah. So
and you said that's already booked up as well.
It is, which is why we're pondering potentially doing more than one, because it's in teams of 5. No, 4. I got it wrong. There's 5 teams of 4. That's why I get it wrong. So so that each player has a chance, and each team has a chance to be on the deck of the ship and walk the plank. We're running it in 4 rounds. So that way each team member, I mean, they don't have to swap, but we will actively encourage them to. And we'll add various paraphernalia to that to embarrass them further. But yeah, that's looking really popular. But I mean, other events, I'll give you some random stats. Our D&D is currently it's actually quite ridiculous, these numbers at this stage, but 83% of all seats are booked. Now, just to add context to that, we've actually added more tables since we went live with event booking to cope with that demand. So those numbers are higher than, in some respects, than they would have been if we hadn't added those tables. Certainly number of seats. And for the rest of the RPGs, the Saturday is sitting at about 70%, and for 65%, and the Sunday's sitting at about 60%. But between now and the 9th of August, people still have time to book or pre-book their seats and pre-order their tickets and their t-shirts.
And you're doing the D&D Epic, aren't you?
We are. Greg is currently, I think he's now found his extra NPC, actually, because there's going to be a couple of NPCs randomly wandering, and that'll be fun. I probably won't see it because I'll be in watching Eye the Beholder, but I'm sure I'll hear it. But that's really good. We've got a great selection of D&D Dungeon Masters for that, including 3 of whom I've written. I think they're now called custom or content something or other, because it used to be called convention content scenarios, but they're now called something else. And so that we have 3 scenarios which are making their official Adventurers League debut at the convention and won't be played at any other convention for at least 3 months, I think it is, before they become available. So that's cool. But the rest of our RPGs, the range we've got is just fantastic. All of the RPG people who I mentioned earlier on the world building panel are all running games for us. I think Bill is doing the almost Iron Man. He's running 4 games. The only reason he's not running 5 is because he's doing the panel. And Ben's running 3. we've got Matthew and Clara both running one. Clara's running the Vampire on the Saturday night, and Matthew's running his new game, which recently, in the last few months, funded on Kickstarter. They came from Beneath the Sea. So a kind of pulpy alien type thing, which sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah, so they're running games, as are many other people, and we've been inundated with submissions. We actually have a waiting list just in case we have people have to pull out for various reasons, which is great. We might have. I mentioned the kids RPGs briefly earlier, so we have some kids RPGs as well, which are aimed at 8 to 12, but not restricted to 8 to 12-year-olds. So we're kind of saying no younger than 8 ideally, but if there's any 13 or 14-year-olds who want to dabble in it and don't want to do a 3.5 hour session or something, then they're more than welcome to join. And we've got 3 really good GMs who are running them for us over both days, which is great. And I did have a train of thought there, but I've lost it. But it's fine. I'm sure it's just fatigue.
What? Very, very quick question about the children's RPGs. Are parents welcome to sit in?
Yeah, they're welcome to sit in with them, or they're welcome to just stay nearby and watch. It's entirely up to them. Some of the parents are doing the former, and some are doing the latter. So it's good that's something that we really wanted to offer, and we didn't think we were going to be able to, but we had one GM put his hand up, and then we had another GM put his hand up, and then we had a third GM put his hand up. So we were like, right, okay. And I've now remembered the thing that I've lost my train of thought. Thank you, Josh. No, that's perfect. That gave me the time to get it back. So the kids RPGs are only an hour and a half, so they kind of fit within the normal RPG schedule, but they finish at 4:00, which I think makes it. And after that,
I think with the kids games, you're better to have a shorter slot.
And I think, especially if it's introductory as well. I mean, I'm sure some of these kids will be playing role-playing games already. But I would probably expect them to be in role-playing games upstairs rather than in the kids bit. But they can choose to play wherever they want. I think the thing I was going to mention there, and I didn't actually have this in my notes, but I'm going to say it anyway. So we've the Aliens RPG, the Free League Publishing have done. One of my friends is currently looking like he's going to run a game of Aliens, but it will be in the hall. We're still trying to work out how that will work. But Richard and I will have a chat about that between now and the convention, and it'll probably end up being sign up on the day. Because Richard's one of the play testers for it, so it's he's really keen to run it because he loves it, which is cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
Awesome. I think we're almost out of time, but there is one burning question I wanted to
tell me.
So obviously we're now towards the second year itself. What compared to putting the convention on the first year, what have been the big differences for you?
I mean, I remember when you had your night out in Glasgow for the rebrand, and I referred to it as the second album, and it kind of has that feel. It's not actually any easier. It's probably there are things that we know how to do, and there are things that we don't have to do this time because we did it once and we don't need to repeat it. But the size of this thing is essentially twice the size as it was before. We've got significantly more play space. We've got significantly more events, and that brings with it, as much as a challenge from an organizational perspective, it brings a challenge from an aesthetic perspective as well. A lot of the feedback, in fact, predominantly the feedback was about the atmosphere and the feeling of the event. And we think, because we won't know until the event itself, we think we've got that on point. So we're very keen to see how that works out. And if there are things we can learn for future events, should there be any future events, caveat. Yes.
Just do it now, Dave.
I don't have a choice, Tom. This is the thing.
Frog exclusive.
No. I would be a liar if I didn't say we were looking at dates already. But let's get this year out of the way.
Yeah, focus on the.
But no, the primary challenges have just been it's just more. Whilst it's kind of more of the same, it's still a multiplier of the amount of effort that needs to go into it. I mean, even I briefly mentioned this before we went on air. It's or referred to it. So the amount of artwork we have to produce for banners this year, because we've got more areas, we need more signage, which means we need more banners, and they're not all the same, unfortunately. So that means the amount of artwork we have to produce is pretty much double. And it's just little things like that. And we're experimenting with a couple of things. Some of them we don't know if we're definitely going to do, but we'll be making that decision as a team next week. And we're also, as a learning from last year, a significant learning from last year, and also a learning from our good friends, and I've already named them once, so I'm going to have to meet him again. Mark Cook from Aircon. That sounded really grudging. Sorry, Mark. But they this year at their event had an online bring and buy and games library solution, which worked really well. I know there are always teething problems with these things, but in the main, it worked really well. And it was very much a conversation we'd had even in run up to Aircon about, if this works, we'd like to use it. So, right now, and I'm touching wood as I say this, right now we're aiming to launch it in the first week in August. And the only reason it's happening as late as that is because obviously these things take time to develop, and we're not exactly the same setup as Aircon's structure for bringing buys and things like that, so it needs to be tweaked slightly for us. But the expectation is that attendees in the run-up to the convention can submit their games online. They turn up with their huge or otherwise bag of games. We do a tick list. We pre-print all the labels, which have barcodes on them, and the name of the game and obviously the price point that people have put on it, and then they just go off and enjoy the convention. The beauty of it is that they can check on their phone, or at least on any mobile device, probably phone, that they can see what has sold, so they know how much money they've made from the bring and buy, which is a really nice feature, and I think will probably encourage them to spend money with their exhibitors, so that's good.
I was just going to
say. And the other bit, the add-on, which we were in two minds about using, but it's already there, so we may as well use it, is the games library is integrated with that as well. So the check-in, check-out experience of that, so people know what's checked in, so they know what's on the shelves before they leave their table to go and get something, which is really good. So we're really excited about that, and we're really pleased that Mark was open to that conversation in the first place. Mark and Ben, and you keep not forgetting Ben. We're open to that suggestion about making sure of sharing that, because they've developed it. They didn't have to give it to us, but they've been really flexible with the changes that we want, and they've learned a lot from how they did it at Aircon as well.
Fantastic.
Very much the future, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of these things that you kind of go, surely someone will have designed something like this, and trust me, I've looked. No one has designed something like this.
There we are, cutting edge right here of game bring and buys at conventions.
Exactly. Obviously a niche market, but it's cutting edge nevertheless.
Nonetheless, damn it. Anyway, look, Dave, thank you very much for coming on the show this evening, and thank you at home for listening to us. Stay tuned. Obviously, you'll be hearing plenty from us in the run-up and during Tabletop Scotland.
It's going to be good.
Yep, can't wait. And until next time, guys, take care.
Wait. I haven't said the website address, Josh.
Where can people go to find out more? I'm very remiss of me. This is amateur.
Well, I'll blame Tom, or I'll blame Tom. I'm going to blame Tom because he's obviously traumatized.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
Tom's traumatized.
We'll blame it on
also, Tom's traumatized you, Josh. So you're off your game.
Yeah.
So the website is tabletopscotland.co.uk. As I said, or briefly said, online booking for events and for buying your ticket online and your t-shirts online closes at 8 p.m. on the 9th of August. And then the convention itself is the 24th and 24th and 25th, if I can speak, of August. But no, it's we're very much looking forward to it. And what I can see, so is lots of other people.
Yeah, as well they should be. Right, Josh, you know.
I may now sign
you may
off.
Indeed, sir.
Until next time, guys. Take care.
Bye. Bye.